Welcome back. So after 24 hours with this bike, I picked it up yesterday. I've got some doubts about it. I thought it'd be a straight swap for me Honda. After saying goodbye to it, I thought it'd be a big upgrade, but it hasn't quite worked out like that. Now there's a few things I wasn't expecting with this bike. So today I'm going to be going on a trip into Wales to see if I can iron these things out, because I'm not sure whether I've made the right choice or not. Right then, on to its first big ride. Comparisons to the Honda, well, there isn't many. The riding position is totally different. You know, you had sort of big cow horn handlebars on the Honda. This is more compact. Similar outstretched arms and stuff, but I'll have to get used to the riding position. Gearbox, that seems to be, you know, very sweet as the gears change. The Honda was quite clunky. You know, now and again you get a lot of false neutrals. I had one occasion on this where I stopped and I must have had it in fourth gear. I was trying to change it to neutral. And it started to show in neutral when I was in third. Now, whether that's because I've confused the screen or not, I don't know, or a teething problem. It's not done it again. But yeah, the Honda gearbox was really clunky. Engine-wise, I've got to admit the Honda, very smooth, but it was a V4. Those old ST1300 engines, you know, they're bulletproof, aren't they? We all know what they're like, and they sound out of them and stuff. This is a bit more zippy. It's got, when you go into a corner, you can really hear like that exhaust note.
You kind of expect to jump on a bike and instantly know you've made the right choice. But this one for me, it's taken a bit of figuring out. But one thing I will say though, when you open it up a bit, it actually pulls really nice. It feels smooth, predictable, and you can tell it's got more to give. But this is where I started questioning it. There's just little things that I didn't expect, and it's been in my head since I picked it up. But it's not enough to say it's a bad bike, but it's enough to make you think. But then you get moments like this, where everything just clicks into place, and you start to see what this bike's actually about. Honda, it was just easy. You knew exactly what you were getting every time I got on it. This feels like something I'm gonna have to learn. And I think that's the thing. I don't know yet if that's a good thing or if I've made a big mistake.
It's making me work, but in a fun way. Didn't really have that on the Honda. Basically just trundle down the road on it, and it had its limitations in the corners. This thing, you can throw it round. You know, I've just been longing for that for years. Just wasn't doing that on the Honda. And I think that's where this bike's coming into its own, you know. You know, the gear change downwards going into bends is so smooth. And you can feel it grunt out of that little V-twin engine. So, a good few positives there for me. The seat, that's quite comfortable now. As I say, I've done quite a few miles on that. A good positive for me is having the gear selector on the screen, or what gear you're in. Because I didn't have that on the Honda either. What a beautiful day to test out my bike properly. I may have wrote this off too soon, you know. So one more positive here now, a bike that's half the CCs compared to the Honda. You hit a corner in 6th gear, grab a big load of throttle, there's so much torque there. And that is sweet, that, I like that. And I can imagine, you know, with an Acro exhaust on it, Akrapovic or something like that, this is going to sound sweet, isn't it? All right, honest thoughts after 24 hours. Is it better than the Honda? In many ways it is. In many ways it isn't. The screen size, obviously I can change that, no problem at all. The smoothness of the engine, this is a bit more industrial-like. It's like, it reminds me of the old F800 GS I had a few years back. And my Kawasaki 650, similar kind of thing, similar noise to it. The Kawasaki was a little bit smoother, but this has got loads of torque because of its V-twin engine. Now, do I miss the Honda? I'll be honest, I do, and I really didn't think I'd feel like this. But just one thing to mention, I've just noticed a really weird rattle coming from the bottom of the bike, and I thought, oh no, don't tell me the engine's given up already. So I've discovered that in the engine, and it's off. That piece of fairing there, that was rattling around. So that fell out. Luckily, it lodged itself under the pipe, and it hasn't melted, so that's a bonus, isn't it? So this is giving me food for thought, and I've kind of ironed out a few of the insecurities I've had over the bike. Apart from that, like, it's a minor thing, isn't it? So someone's probably just knocked off on the shift and wanted to get home to have his tea in the factory. So there you go. So that's the bung back in. One thing I will say though, this bike, I've had a lot of doubts with it over the last 24 hours, but most of the reason for that, I've not taken it on a long journey. Now, it's keeping me honest because it makes me work into the corners. I can do more with it. I can look at the apex and hit the power straight out of the bend. And that's what it gives me, and it takes me back to the old days where I used to like nail it into corners and I had the confidence because I knew the tyres were good and stuff like that. Basically, I've just come off a land barge and I've just become lazy, plodding along the road, you know, getting into the corners and stuff like that. A lovely comfy seat, nice big screen. So I'm basically, buying this, I've come out of my comfort zone, and that can only be good for you because it's taken me back, as I say, to them old days, and I am starting to get a bit more confident in the machine now. I mean, look at it.
So, was I right to change? I think it's too early to fully say, but one thing's for sure, this bike's got my attention. Let me know what you think. Did I make the right move? And if you want to see what this bike's really like, stick around because I've got a lot planned with it.